O good and great God, we ask you today to bless us as we gather for this important occasion. We pray for your continued blessing on the United States of America, the great state of Texas, and our dear city, Pasadena, our home. We pray for guidance and strength for our mayor, our council, and all who serve us faithfully, sacrificially, and with great determination. Bless the chamber for their important work in making this a better place to live and work. God bless our meal and our fellowship. With respect to those of other faiths, as a minister of the gospel, I offer this prayer in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Don. We appreciate that. We would now like to invite Alex Fox to come up to the stage to present our Pledge of Allegiance. Alex, of course, is not only on the board of the Pasadena Chamber, she was actually selected to participate in the Impact Pasadena Leadership Program, and also is the co-chair of one of our most exciting committees that we've put in place for this year, the membership committee. So, Alex?
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the Texas Pledge. I, the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one nation, under God, indivisible. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Y'all can be seated. Thank you so much. We'd now like to invite Christina Wells to come up to the stage. For those of you who are AGT, America's Got Talent fans, Christina was actually in one of the most recent seasons and was a semifinalist and is what we would refer to as a hometown girl. So we're excited to have Christina with us today to sing our national anthem. So I feel like I'm seeing like somebody famous, like you know a lot of people. So we're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And you know, I don't know about you guys, but that was one of the most powerful renditions of the national anthem I think I've ever heard. So how about for Christina Wells one more time? Thank you so much, Christina. We appreciate it. By the way, I'm Rex Lindbergh, and I'm the Community Relations Director for this great city. And you know, our department kind of has a finger on the pulse of the city, handling calls and requests that come into the mayor's office, sometimes on a daily basis. We're very proud of the team that Mayor Wagner has assembled and how we handle these calls. Here are just a few of the citizens and business owners who really appreciate the direction the city's moving in, and I wanted to share some of this stuff with you guys. Take a look.
We have $140 million of projects going on at our central campus, and working with the Department of Permits and Licensing has actually been pretty remarkable, really making it easy, and they realize that slowness in their processes costs us money, and so we are so grateful for their quick response and their response to make sure things are moving.
I had a drainage issue on a Friday afternoon, and I called the mayor's action line, and they came out. They sent a crew out in about 20 minutes and got out here on the holiday weekend, and they took care of the problem. About 15 minutes later, the problem was solved. I just want to thank the city employees for a great job. Thank you very much.
We really appreciate our new store here. We had an issue where there was a line down in the sidewalk area, and we also had some drainage issues backed up, and both times we contacted the city and they were very helpful. They responded quickly. In fact, the drainage, they were out here, the Public Works was out here within 2 hours, and so it just really feels good to be able to partner with the city and know that we can be here to help impact the community.
Mike Arco and I have been working with the Neighborhood Network Office to apply for grants to do things in our neighborhood, and it has been so successful, so wonderful, and we're really getting a lot of love shown to us that maybe we haven't seen in the last 10 years. So it's been an awesome relationship.
Well, it's a big blessing that that they loved him as much as we did, and they honored him and naming the walking trail after him. And we're just blessed with the Parks Department and the whole city of Pasadena for their love.
I couldn't be more blessed and more happy to be in a city like this, to have a leader that really cares about what's happening in the city. And again, he's an humble man, and it's not about him. It's about growing the city, growing his hometown, and making it better for everybody that lives here.
See why I wanted to share these stories with you. I tell you what, it's so inspiring for us working for the city. We're very happy about that. We really are. You know, it's one of the things that makes Pasadena great, and we're truly blessed to live in a city like Pasadena. It's a big city with a small town feel. It's a place where your concerns can be heard. So we're very proud of that. Something else I wanted to share with all you guys that you may not know is about the employees of the city of Pasadena. That everyone I've ever encountered since I've been at the city truly loves their job. I've never once heard anybody complain about their job. You know, we have a lot of staff here today, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. People who work for the city of Pasadena are very proud to be city employees, very proud to be public servants. And after being here almost 2 years myself, I realize why. It's because we're a part of something. We're part of something very special. You know, all the good things that happen in Pasadena aren't because of one or two people. It's the whole team. Team Pasadena. I don't care if you're the chief of staff, if you work for Streets and Bridges, if you work in our mailroom or for our sanitation department, or you're one of our wonderful volunteers. Pasadena is Pasadena because of you. Pasadena is moving forward because of you. And for that, we're truly honored. I think that the city employees ought to give themselves a hand for that. Thank you so much. Now, I was told to keep this short, and so I'll do that, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank each and every one of you guys for being here today. It's because of you, for your love and support for this city and for our mayor, that I'm proud to say that today is the largest turnout of business and industry in the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce history. Now, we set a record last year. This year we shattered that, and it's all because of you guys. We want to thank you for that. And so without further ado, I'm proud to introduce to you our mayor, the man with the progressive vision for our city. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Wagner.
Thank you. Oh. Thank you, everybody. Please, thank you. Before I begin my little speech here, I got to say about Christina, when we first called her to do the national anthem. She was booked or she was busy doing something else. I was really, well, I was mad, sad. So I said, please call her back. I need her. I really need this. So you were so kind. By whatever you did to change your schedule to be here, it means a lot. And thank you. And Rex said it. You nailed it. You really did. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everybody on the video that was talking about our city employees, because they're right. I get so many emails, letters, and just people even coming up to my office thanking me for the city employees. And I have to admit, we do have the best employees in the nation. And it just proves how our city looks, because our employees really care. And with that, again, city employees, thank you so much. You're awesome. You really are. Thank you. When I first became mayor, I was sitting in my office. I was looking out my window. I'm on the 6th floor of the old Ventex building, which is now City Hall. Thank you, Mr. Stanley. And what I could see was the old bank building. I looked at it. I said, wow, this building's falling down, bricks off of it, graffiti everywhere, high grass. I said, this is not the image we want for our city. I immediately called my economic team, and I said, get the owner in here as fast as we can. And believe it or not, about a week later, the owner actually showed up to City Hall. And we sit down and we talked to him and said, look, what can we do as a city to do something with this building? He says, I'm glad you care. We're going to work on it. He left. A week went by, another week. Months went by. He started ignoring us. Finally, he got a hold of us and said, he has a big master plan. Never sent it. So after month after month after month, we got together and realized we need to come up with a new plan. Not put pressure on anyone, but a new plan to help him sell it to someone. And after our plan was in place, believe it or not, the man chose to sell it. Now, with the new owner, I knew that we could work with this owner, because this owner is someone that we could trust. Matter of fact, the city of Pasadena bought it, so I knew we could work with it. So I'm going to leave that story right there. In a little bit on the video, you're going to see the rest of the story. You know, last year, and I cannot believe it's been a year, how fast time flies, especially when you're having fun. And believe me, we're having fun at City Hall. We're doing a lot of good things. I'm very proud of it. On the video, when the president of the Astros, Reed Ryan, was introducing me, he mentioned one thing. You have to put the right people in the right positions to have a winning team. And I believe we've done that. I really do. You know, so I'd like to talk about right now how our team has worked to make Pasadena what it is and where we're going. Just not our team, but with partnerships that we have created. And I'll start with my first partnership. 3 weeks as mayor, I want to meet our former county commissioner. So I went down to Commissioner's Court, and I was in his office. He had his chief of staff and some other people, and I had some people with me, and we were talking back and forth. He goes, what can we do for the city of Pasadena? That's why I'm glad you asked. Really, that's what I went for. I said, I want to do Ritchie Street from 225 to Southmore. He said, yeah, that'd be a good project. I said, no. Let me finish, please. I want $6 million of the county money, and we'll match it with $6 million. It's a $12 million job. He looked at me. I said, but there's something else about this that I really want. He said, well, what is it? I just want your money. We're going to do the work. He looked at his chief of staff and looked at me, and we talked a little more. And next thing you know, I walked out there shaking hands. He says, you got it. So believe it or not, as we're talking right now, there's crews out on Ritchie Street right now starting making Ritchie Street a brand new street from 225 down to Southmore. Now, with that said, with our new commissioner, thank you. With our new commissioner, well, during the state of the county, this commissioner was talking about how I negotiated this deal with him. In his speech, he says, when Mayor Wagner left, I looked down to make sure I still had my watch on. So the point I'm making about that is this, with the new commissioner, I want something done on Pasadena Boulevard, And whatever you can do, the money's already been there. You don't even have to watch your watch on this one. Just get the message to our new commissioner that let's work on Pasadena Boulevard, and we need that done, and we need it done as fast as we can. You know, there's so much else going on in our city. Matter of fact, so much. We're doing our capital projects, if I remember, we're doing $51 million of street drainage and other improvements throughout our whole city. And the beauty behind everything that I'm talking about, and this is the key, everything that I mentioned today, we have paid for. And it's amazing how the administration, along with city council, really took the courage to do what's right, to get the money we need to make sure our city moves forward. For instance, since I've been mayor, we've added 31 police officers on our street. And I'm very, very happy about that. Thank you. Once our academy class graduates this year, in probably about 3 or 4 months, there will be 20 more police officers on the street. That brings our total to 303 officers, the largest police department in the history of Pasadena we have now, and we need it. And I'm very, very proud that city council members here took the courage to make the right votes. And the ones who voted yes on our budget, I thank y'all so much, because it wasn't all of us, but y'all did right. You took a lot of courage, but we knew what was right, and I thank y'all so much for that. You know, speaking of our court, we're building a brand new municipal court building. This is long going. This, matter of fact, we're using a bunch of Ike money. It's important that we remember this. We're still getting Ike money. They owe us a lot of money. So with the millions they owe us, it's going to help us build a brand new court building. And that's going where the old police department's at, across from City Hall. We're knocking that down, and a brand new court building is going there. Very beautiful building. Then we're building a police and fire academy right down the street from here. Very happy about that. A brand new fire station on Crenshaw. Station 8 behind HEB, we're going to move that on Crenshaw between Space Center and the Beltway. Very, very happy about that. All this stuff is being done. Groundbreaking is going to be this year. Speaking of the fire department, we've always in the past, and I've done it and everybody else has done it, we always bragged about our volunteer fire department being the largest in the country. Well, now, 2 weeks ago, the ISO, make sure I got this right, Insurance Service Office, awarded our volunteer fire department with a Class 1, and they said, we are the largest volunteer fire department in this country. And I'm very, very happy about that. Let me share a small example of our volunteer fire department. There in Harvey, we have 9 fire stations. We manage all 9 fire stations 24 hours a day. Now remember, we're talking about volunteers. That's probably a fireman right there with his radio who has a call. All volunteers. As they were serving for free, some of their houses were being flooded, and they chose to stay at the fire department, which helped our police department run over 1,000 emergency calls. Thank yous aren't enough for our volunteer fire department. So if you ever see any one of our volunteer fire department, please take the time, give a hug, and say thank you, because they are amazing, amazing people. And that's how this city runs. They have the most passion and most caring hearts of anybody that I know by serving for free at being one of our fire department. And they work so hard, and we got that ISO rating, it was going to help homeowners and also businesses with their insurance. And again, it's because of their hard work. You know, let's go down. I could talk about each department, about things that we're doing, new things that we're trying, and it's working, but it would take all day. So I'm going to hit just a couple of the highlights. Our neighborhood network. They came up with a thing called Team Up to Clean Up. What is that? I'm glad you asked. They asked for volunteers throughout our community, and they picked 20 homes that needed to be cleaned and repaired. These are people that can't afford it, or seniors living where they don't have anyone to help. 20 homes. Businesses and individuals in our city donated over $70,000. 200 volunteers. This is the core of Pasadena right here. 200 volunteers volunteered, and in 2 days, we completely cleaned up, repaired 20 homes. But it gets better than that. Habitat for Humanity realized what was going on here in Pasadena. They donated $100,000 to put 10 brand new roofs on some of those homes. That is really amazing. And that all came from an idea was kicked around in our neighborhood networks. I could go on, but that's on and on because our neighborhood networks is that fantastic. Our parks and recreation, well, yes, I give them. Our parks and recreation, another small example. We teamed up with Kaboom. I know the school district has it several times, and so we did. And they donated $250,000. Along with 250 volunteers, we built a park, a memorial park, and it took 2 days. With 200 volunteers, the park is absolutely fantastic. And the great thing about it is it didn't cost the city anything, just a little time, a little effort of building a beautiful playground. The animal shelter. When I took over mayor, there had to be some updates out there, so we updated everything that we could. As a matter of fact, the Sally Port, where the new animals being brought in, we enclosed it and air conditioned it. Our adoptions right now, we give out or help find homes for over 7,000 animals. So please, if you need an animal, a dog or a cat, please go to our animal shelter and we'll be more than happy to set you up. You know, building relationships and having the right team really works, and those are just small examples. Let's talk about our relationship with Pasadena Independent School District. We are building each and every day, and we're getting closer and closer. One small example. Before school started, they came up with a program called Fill the Bus. So we joined in. We said, we're going to put a bus in front of City Hall, and we're going to fill it up with supplies. You will not believe how many thousands of students in our city and around are homeless and don't have money, period, for any school supply. So we definitely teamed up with the school district with that. We were hoping we could fill one bus to help. No, we didn't fill one bus. We filled 3 buses. That is the true spirit of our employees and everybody that volunteered. Department, over and over doing fantastic things. This one right here is I hate to say most excited about because everything is good, but let me share. Our public works, they came to me months back. Mark Garlemall played a second in command there, brought in maps along with our director, Robin Green, and his staff, came up to my office and laid down maps in showing me different things about flooding. And Mark said, this is where I got this idea from. You know, we all voted, or some of us voted, you may vote yes or no, but most of us did, 80% of people voted yes for $2.5 billion with Harris County for their flood bond. And Mark looked at that, and they have a great idea, getting water from West Houston as fast as it can to the ship channel, which is a great idea. But Mark realized something that wasn't a great idea. The lowest part of this chain of water getting into Pasadena is our north side of Pasadena. So Mark didn't like that. Mark sat down and came up with a genius plan, and they brought this to my office. He wanted to apply for $58 million FEMA grant to lower our streets in North Pasadena with new drainage. Now what that does is, it's a genius idea. It gets the water in the street and moves down to where it needs to go. It stays out of people's houses. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the maps, and I look at Robin Green, who's sitting right to the left of me. I go, Robin, $58 million is not enough money. He said, no, sir, Mayor, it's not, but that's all we could probably get from the government. I said, how much do we need? He said, well, about $100 million. I said, well, let's put in $105 million grant, because we need extra $5 million just in case somebody makes a mistake somewhere around the corner, who knows. I said, let's put that in. They looked at me, they said, okay. They were really unsure of themselves. 2 days later, I realized I knew someone that could help us fill out our FEMA grants. So I called him up. He came to my office, and we sat down. He goes, I think I can help, but I need someone else. I met with this man. And those two, along with our team, became one team. Did we get the money? Let's wait. In the video, you're going to see. Right.
Progress in motion, prosperity in action. That's Pasadena. In the last 12 months, our city has seen improvements and production like never before. From unprecedented industry growth to a renewed surge in community spirit, the city of Pasadena stands at the door of a complete renaissance.
It's a hotbed for industry growth. We're obviously in really the golden era of chemicals growth here along the Texas Gulf Coast, and being home to the largest petrochemical complex in the world now, Pasadena is strategically positioned to capture that growth.
So when this administration moves forward with new projects and programs, it's what the community wants to see happen as we move forward.
They've done a wonderful job. You can see the results already, and I think as you go through this whole process over another 16, 18, 24 months, it'll really jump out at you as to the importance of the staff that the mayor has built.
And Mayor Wagner has not only built an administration to get the job done, he's building a vision, one for economic growth, public safety and infrastructure improvements, and a new landscape. And it all began with a comprehensive strategic development plan that includes input from hundreds of local stakeholders.
One of the things that came about was the current state of historic Pasadena and what we could do to catalyze it to get more development, more businesses. And one of the biggest detriments that they identified was the current state of the bank building.
After almost 2 decades of unimaginable neglect, the iconic first Pasadena Bank building had become unrecognizable and extremely dangerous.
A lot of kids getting in the building because it wasn't being secured by the owner, and they were using it as kind of an obstacle course in there, playing games in there, which is very dangerous, not just for the fall issue, but for the asbestos that's in that building.
Countless experts suggested that the abandonment had already taken its toll, but the final confirmation came from the last place you'd expect.
And at the time, during the testimony from the current owner, they had mentioned that the only viable solutions for this building was the demolition because the redevelopment of it wasn't economically feasible. So they in turn had agreed that the demolition was probably the best course for the building.
In just a few months, Pasadena's skyline will change dramatically with the implosion of the abandoned bank building, setting the stage for multi-million-dollar redevelopment opportunities.
So the plans the city has to demolish the property is going to be a wonderful addition. It's going to really open up the property, and it's really a significant factor in us deciding to go and move ahead. We've submitted in our master plan that has an outline of our consistent look for the property, and that's going to be very significant. And so the investment in the mall is going to be in the millions. We want Macro Plaza to be a gathering place in the community for people to go and come to. We want to have value stores here that'll be attractive to them in terms of pricing. We want to have activities here that they'll enjoy going and coming to. Because the success of the mall is really a function of getting people to go and come here.
These plans will put into motion a revitalization of historic Pasadena that's long overdue and welcome news to current business owners.
I had no idea that it was going to be this nice, this great, to see the redevelopment of the mall, to see the buildings coming down and coming up with the new courthouse coming in, 3 new businesses opening up directly across the street from me. I couldn't foresee that.
And that's just the beginning. In only 1 year, Pasadena has seen a capital investment increase of more than $1.5 billion.
Pasadena, again, with its location and size and resources, it is a hub of a lot of things that happen. And even though we work with 12 cities throughout the region, Pasadena continues to kind of bubble to the top.
Triple the business expansion, more than 4 times the job creation. Progress in motion means business.
We either live in vision or we live in circumstances, right? And I think with Mayor Wagner and the EDC board, They've done a fantastic job of creating a vision of what Pasadena should and could be in comparison to cities its size around the country, and not settling for a reputation or an image that they may not want. There's no reason Pasadena can't be just a shining star, not only in the ability to attract chemical manufacturers, but then how that folds and filters down into its entire economy and quality of life and citizenry and just the way that people look and view at the potential for Pasadena.
In fact, experts estimate that every one job created in Pasadena's petrochemical industry equals 7 additional jobs to our local economy.
If you look at the activity that's going on over on Fairmont right now in Beltway 8, it's just absolutely incredible. One of the fastest growing retail centers in the nation.
Pasadena's business and industry aren't the only areas with exciting news.
The Boeing Company, which is actually the second largest employer in the city of Pasadena this year, will be flying their CST-100, which will be flying our astronauts back and forth to the International Space Station for the first time in about 9 years. And it's going to be great because now we don't have to rely on the Russians to do that.
And with all this progress, the biggest winners are undoubtedly the residents of Pasadena. In late 2018, FEMA approved our grant application for a record-breaking $105 million grant to help with flood mitigation and drainage.
When we first presented the mitigation program, the mayor understood scale better, and he realized that more needed to be done. And he's been very active about it.
The city of Pasadena sits at the confluence of White Oak, Buffalo, Braes, and Sims Bayous, and the entities in control of these waterways are armed with billions of dollars ready to send additional waters downstream to, you guessed it, Pasadena.
The traditional method of mitigation is to raise homes. But in this case, low to moderate income populations are unable to accomplish this. So the city took it upon ourselves to reassure the citizens by taking on a mitigation grant. This grant will allow us to lower right-of-ways and rebuild entire corridors in Pasadena, creating mitigation that will last 50 years.
In fact, Pasadena's application was awarded so quickly and was so impressive, even Capitol Hill noticed.
We've suffered terrible flooding in recent years throughout our district, and improving our drainage and flood mitigation systems has been a top priority for me in Congress. I'm happy that Mayor Wagner and his team are also working hard to address this important issue, and that they were able to secure this huge FEMA grant to take serious steps toward improving the conditions in Pasadena so that we can be better prepared for future events. Let's keep making progress.
That's generations of Pasadena residents who'll benefit from an administration who understands this city and a plan that puts community first.
As I spoke with the people of Pasadena, and I talked to them about the opportunity to raise their homes for upward of $100,000, they told me in no uncertain terms that they need that $100,000 to raise their children.
And raise our children we will, in a safe community, a prosperous community, a growing community. That's progress in motion. That's Pasadena.
You know, with all the buildings that we're doing, all the construction that we're doing, we try to use local contractors as much as we can. But no matter what contractor we use, we want them to believe in my vision to work with our local workforce. It's very important. The training, the experience of all our labor organization right here in Pasadena, we must use them on everything that we do. I truly believe in that. And I also like to say, all the Southeast mayors that we meet with constantly, thank you for all you've done for me. You guys are unbelievable. These guys are so full of knowledge, that I have really enjoyed getting to know y'all, and thank you for the meetings, and thank you for allowing me into y'all's group. Believe me, y'all are phenomenal. Thank y'all so much. You know, everything you've seen on the video, everything I've talked about, it's just the beginning. Pasadena is the second largest city in Harris County, and we're stepping up to it. We're showing everybody that we are. You know, the community spirit is alive and well. As long as we stay united and focused on what's right, you'll see progress in motion. Those smiles of all ages you've seen on our video, They believe in what I believe in our hometown. You know, that is the foundation of our city. And I truly believe we've got the best foundation in the country. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank everybody for supporting me. It means the world to me. God bless you and God bless our great city. Thank y'all so much.